Greetings, duelists, and welcome to another video. Yes, I am pumping a lot of these more than frequent, but we got a new banger from Blazing Dominion, and this is one I cannot ignore. You'll see almost at the end of the video why I cannot ignore this card. So, this is Transient Masquerader of Illusion. Before we talk about this card, I kind of want to talk about illusions as a whole, because this is an illusion monster. And if you look at the way this card is, like, the design behind this card, it was clearly meant to be made as a illusion support card. So, as of late, Illusions has been receiving very decent support. Not really broken support, but decent. Heka Hands is a very respectable archetype that has a very nice gimmick. One of their monsters, to this day, I am playing it as in my side deck. The Chimera theme was also really respectable back in its day when they first debuted, although it was a little bit overshadowed by Age of Overlord. The only real support card that they got was Berfomet, where I think they should have received a lot more, but I digress. Yeah, I have Chimera replays on my channel. You can go look them up. I did play them in 2023. Outside of that, I haven't dabbled too much with Illusions. Heck, I haven't even played with Heka Hands yet. Although I did play against it a few times already. That being said, the reason I'm bringing up all of this and I'm making the build up with all that I just yapped about is it because I feel like this is the best illusion monster that we've gotten so far. We'll read its effect and then I'll tell you everything you need to know about this card and what makes this card really powerful. So you can only use the first effect once per turn. You can only use the third effect once per duel. First effect, if this card is normal or special summon, you can send a Fiend, Illusion, or Spellcaster from your deck to the graveyard. Then this card's type becomes the sent monster's original type. Second effect, basically the Illusion Clause. Like, all the illusions have this second effect. Third effect, if this card's in your graveyard, you can banish one spell in your graveyard and special summon this card. So essentially what this card is basically just another copy of Berfomet. Like, the main difference between this and Berfomet is that Berfomet can send beasts, while this one can send spellcasters. Let's talk about some targets that this card can send. Here's the Berfomet, so you can see that the main difference. Berfomet has the same exact effect when it's fusion summoned. But more so, Berfomet has the effect to bring back one of those types from banishment. Masquerader can bring itself back by banishing a spell, and that is also going to be very, very relevant very soon. But yeah, it's also very obvious that they made this card with Nightmare Ice Restrict in mind, because this one requires any of those three types. And having this become any of the other types makes it possible for this card to be easier summoned if you're playing like a dedicated illusion deck. But yeah, so let's show some examples. First card is Sinister Necrom. You've already seen this with Chimera. People send this with Berfomet. And this will get you to Adjusted Gold, which gets you to Requiem, which gets you to Engraver. So basically you have Fiendsmith access with this card, which is very ideal. Which is kind of cool. Let's see other examples. Oh yeah, so since this can become the same type of whatever monster you send, this sending Sinister Necrom makes this become a Fiend type monster, which means you can bridge into Unchained, very similar to how Magical Muskets and other Fiendsmith strategies are doing. So this is basically both a Fiendsmith and an Unchained starter, if you think about it on that perspective. So let's see what else we can send. We can send the Bellstar Vengeance. This is a Fiend type monster. And both the Bellstar and Transient being level 8 means that you can do rank 8 plays with them. Also, you notice how both Transient Masquerade and the Bellstars both have almost the same graveyard effect. Yeah, so that means we can play mill strategies with them. We'll show more like examples when it comes to this very soon. And other cards that you can send are the Heka Hands. Both Ibtel and Jadel have graveyard effects. They basically just grab back your spells and monsters and just spawns them back to the field. So in Heka Hands, this card is not that bad. It is basically an extender. After you exhausted both by using both Ibtel or Jadel. And you can make Jalza like with Transient as well if you bring back like the other Heka Hand, because you know this is an illusion monster and one of the materials is an illusion monster and the Heka Hand. So I kind of just wanted to show that. And this is also level 8. Hint, hint. So, going back to the Bellstar, because of the way both of these can summon themselves from the graveyard, you can just play a mill strategy like Lightsworn and just play this like play these like as mill cards. Like one issue that Lightsworns always had in the past is what happens to those spell and traps that you just end up milling with them. They just essentially just become dead cards. One of the solutions was Fairy Tale Snow, but that card is currently forbidden in the TCG. Although I do have a very heavy hunch that we are going to get Fairy Tale Snow back into the TCG very soon. Just look at everything that has been releasing in Blazing Dominion. But yeah, going back to Lightsworn, Wise is a Light Fiend, so you can pair this with the Fiendsmith Unchained agenda and just make like a very cool mill deck that just plays like a bunch of cards that would just work in the graveyard. Like you got Transient, you got Vengeance, you got Necrom, you got let's see what else. Like Chiyama has a graveyard effect, Sharvara has a graveyard effect, Engraver has a graveyard effect. So yeah, like what's stopping you from just playing like a pile deck and just playing this card in it and just resummoning this by using fodder spells? But I digress. So going next to it, you can also play Morian, and again, this has a graveyard effect to just resummon itself because this is a high level illusion. So yeah, that's another example. Now you're looking at all these examples that I'm bringing up. Now we're going to get to the point where why I needed to talk about this card. The reason I needed to talk about this card is because there is one theme that works with this card. And that theme is Chadol. Yeah, this is essentially another Chadol starter. Because this can send spellcasters. Which means, if you use this effect and you send Squamata, you can Squamata, send Grista, and this is an Earth attribute monster. You already know what's coming next. Yep, we can make Mecha Rail with this. And use Mecha Rail, and you know. Now going back to this, you probably noticed something real important with this card, right? what happens if we draw this card? This is essentially a brick, right? Is there any real starter that can send this card to the graveyard? Is there any real card that we can use to make this whole strategy possible? Well, you probably already thought the same thing I did. Foolish Burial is a really good card for this monster. But there is one other card. We got Nightmare Hand. So, for those who are unaware, this is a new spell card. We are going to receive this in Burst Protocol. And this card reads, send one illusion monster from your deck to the graveyard. During your main phase, if you control a level 5 or higher illusion monster, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one monster your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to your field, but banish it during the end phase of the next turn. You can only use one Nightmare Hand effect per turn. This doesn't matter, because the only effect that we care about is the first effect. This effect right here, this could have just been the text of the card, and this card would have been amazing. So a lot of people were speculating when was going to be the time this card was going to be power crept, or okay, I'm using the phrase wrong. There was going to be a way to power creep the level of this card, and now we have it. It is the Masquerader. Like Nightmare Hand, by itself can dump Masquerader. Masquerader can banish Nightmare Hand and just summon itself, and this just becomes everything you secure in the graveyard. So yeah, and if you need examples, I guess I'll show it. Before I show you the example, I kind of just want to talk about Luminous Train real quick. We haven't talked about the train cards in this channel yet. I will probably make a video talking about them in the future, although you're probably already sick and tired of hearing about trains already. Like, too many YouTubers already brought this up. The reason I'm bringing up Luminous Train Blue Traveler specifically is because this card is a card that is in direct, really strong support for Shadow. And between this and this, Blazing Dominion is already looking like a really good set in terms of Shadow support. And let me just show you the example involving Nightmare Hand. So we're going to Nightmare Hand for this, Masquerader. For these two, you already saw this combo. Now go Measure Rail for Left Shadow Fusion, you activate Left Shadow Fusion. And if you already seen the Shadow videos in the channel, you already know where this goes by now. Like, you can use this, dump like App Cologne, and then use this to tribute this, to summon Construct, and that's full Shadow combo. Yeah. Masquerader is a really, really good card. I think this card will have a home. This card will be played in some strategy, some shape or form. I don't think this is like super tier 1 potential or anything, but if we keep getting good illusion support at this level, I can foresee this being a dominant strategy sooner than later. But that's it for now. I hope you found this to your liking, understanding. Until next time, keep practicing and keep dueling.